Welcome back to the AI Daily Brief Headlines Edition, all the daily AI news you need in around 5 minutes. As you know, I have been out all week, so we have a lot to catch up on. And we are kicking off with some geopolitics where the Trump administration is reportedly considering a DeepSeek ban. According to the New York Times, further restrictions include banning the startup from purchasing US technology and barring Americans from accessing DeepSeek's models. Now, the report didn't get into how exactly a government could ban open source models, but functionally, simply banning cloud providers from offering them is probably close enough. Congress also apparently has DeepSeek in its sights. The House Select Committee on China called the AI startup a, quote, profound threat to US national security by harvesting American users' data and sending it back to China. Their report states, although it presents itself as just another AI chatbot, offering users a way to generate text and answer questions, closer inspection reveals the app siphons data back to the People's Republic of China, creates security vulnerabilities for its users, and relies on a model that covertly censors and manipulates information pursuant to Chinese law. Now, whether or not this comes to pass tells you a lot about the state of the conversation as it relates to China and AI right now. Speaking of, another company in trouble in that area is Nvidia. On Wednesday, the Trump administration extended export controls to cover Nvidia's H20 chips, the downrated version of the H100 that are designed to comply with controls introduced in the Biden era. The administration said that the enhanced rules address concerns that, quote, the covered products may be used in or diverted to a supercomputer in China. Nvidia, for their part, warned that they would report $5.5 billion in write-downs associated with inventory and commitments for the chips, which have essentially zero demand outside of China. In terms of how much this would impact the development of Chinese AI, Biden Commerce Department staff said that the bans would make it around 3 to 6% more costly to develop an AI model in China. Since then, we've had constant reports of Chinese researchers doing more with less, so that figure is very much up for debate. Nvidia had been outspoken about existing export controls and lobbied against them going further. In January, as Biden's outgoing team imposed the last round of tightening, the company said that export controls, quote, will only harm the US economy, set America back, and play into the hands of US adversaries. Now, earlier this month, CEO Jensen Huang made a trip to Mar-a-Lago to petition the president directly. Following his attendance at a $1 million a head dinner, NPR reported that Trump had reversed course on new controls on the H20s. The report stated that bans had been set to go into effect as soon as last week. The quid pro quo had been a dramatic ramp-up of local investment from Nvidia. NPR sources made vague reference to investments in AI data centers, but this week we've seen a wave of reports of Nvidia's commitments to US manufacturing. On Monday, the company announced that they had begun production of Blackwell chips in TSMC's Arizona facility. They also committed to producing AI supercomputers at a pair of facilities in Texas. In total, Nvidia claimed they would produce $500 billion worth of AI infrastructure in the US over the next 4 years. They said their manufacturing was, quote, expected to create hundreds of thousands of jobs and drive trillions of dollars in economic security over the coming decades. In the press release, Huang said, the engines of the world's AI infrastructure are being built in the United States for the first time. Adding American manufacturing helps us better meet the incredible and growing demand for AI chips and supercomputers, strengthens our supply chain, and boosts our resiliency. Alas, the high-profile announcement doesn't seem to have been enough, with the export controls still going into force 2 days later. The Financial Times reports the announcement came as a complete surprise to Nvidia, saying that earlier this month the company had assured Chinese tech giants that supply of H20s would not be interrupted. And so as of Thursday, Huang is visiting Beijing to meet with political and tech leaders. According to state broadcaster CCTV, the CEO said that China was a, quote, very important market for Nvidia, and that his company would, quote, make a significant effort to optimize our products that are compliant with the regulators and continue to serve the Chinese market. Speaking of DeepSeek, sources said that his itinerary included meeting with DeepSeek founder Lang Wenfeng to discuss a new chip design to meet regulatory requirements set by Washington and Beijing. A public meeting with the China Council for the Promotion of International Trade was televised, and Huang also reportedly met separately with Chinese Vice Premier He Lifeng. The press, for their part, is reading a lot into the deference shown by Huang, who discarded his trademark leather jacket for a suit and tie to attend high-level meetings in Beijing. Speaking to the whirlwind China visit, President Trump told the press, quote, Jensen's an amazing guy. He's become a friend of mine. He's a person that's very proud of our country. He loves our country. I'm not worried about Jensen at all. Back home, big fundraising continues. Ilya Sutskever's Safe Superintelligence has closed a new round of funding that values the company at a whopping $32 billion. The former OpenAI chief scientist founded the startup less than a year ago. In September, SSI raised $1 billion at a $5 billion valuation, a price tag that already seemed a little rich to some for a company with no product and little more than a big-name founder and a resonant mission statement, but obviously to many people that would be dismissing what SSI actually has. This round, which brought in an additional $2 billion, has marked up the valuation 6x. To put it in perspective, Anthropic was valued at $61.5 billion during last month's funding round, meaning that SSI has already achieved half that valuation. There are a couple of potential reads on the situation. The first take is that for those who are in this game, venture firms are simply not that price sensitive when it comes to getting into the very small handful of companies that actually have a chance to reach AGI first. Reports from February said that SSI was in talks to raise at $20 billion then, so there's been a pretty significant jump in valuation during the negotiations, meaning there's a lot of demand. The second read is that SSI might have made actual progress over the past few months. Certainly everyone is wondering about what the product will look like. James Cham, a partner at venture firm Bloomberg Beta, said, "Everyone is curious about exactly what Ilya is pushing and exactly what the insight is. It's super high risk, and if it works out, maybe you have the potential to be part of someone who is changing the world." Couple more before we wrap up. Anthropic is preparing to release their long-awaited voice mode. Bloomberg reports that the feature could be released as soon as this month. Sources said the rollout will feature 3 different voices for Claude, identified as airy, mellow, and a British accented version referred to as buttery. CEO Dario Amodei first teased voice mode during a January interview with the Wall Street Journal. One of the reasons he gave for the long delay was a desire to ensure that Claude's voice was comfortable and natural enough for long interactions. The rollout will also be the first big test of Anthropic's new premium $200 per month subscription. In Microsoft land, the company has enabled a new computer use feature for Copilot Studio. This feature is similar to offerings from OpenAI and Anthropic and allow Copilot to take over the computer to interact with websites and apps. Charles Lamanna, the VP of Copilot, said, "This allows agents to handle tasks even when there is no API available to connect to the system directly. If a person can use the app, the agent can too." Apple, meanwhile, has revealed a convoluted plan to improve their AI without compromising privacy. In a technical blog post, the company laid out a system that can check their synthetic data against tokenized user data without revealing information. The idea is that the synthetic data that most closely matches real user data can be used as the training set for Apple's next generation of models. This means that the company can technically state that their models aren't trained on user data. Apple says this method can be used to improve the performance of writing assistants, photo editing models, and their generative emoji feature. Kind of an overcomplicated way to catch up with features that people were excited about back in 2024, but there you are. Separately, the New York Times reports that AI-enhanced Siri would finally arrive this year. Their sources said that current plans are to release the updated assistant in the fall. Explaining the features, they gave the example of being able to edit a photo and send it to a friend. A fall rollout would be well ahead of previous estimates, though, with Bloomberg tech editor Mark Gurman previously stating that he thought that Siri, quote, "won't be ready until 2027 at best." The Information writes, Apple's AI/ML group has been dubbed aimless internally, while employees are said to refer to Siri as a hot potato that has continually passed between different teams with no significant improvements. So I guess at the end of a week away, the more things change, the more they stay the same. That's going to do it for today's AI Daily Brief Headlines edition. Next up, the main episode.